1983 in film by the Cinema Snob is here, people, and it's near 4.5 hours long. Click on the link in the comments and in the description and enjoy my run through 3D films, terrible sequels, Conan and Mad Max knockoffs, James Bond movies, raunchy comedies, Cold War paranoia, and so much more. It's my favorite video series to do, and I hope you enjoy it and support it.
Alright, welcome everyone, welcome to the show. Ooh, damn it. Forgot to retweet the link to tonight's live stream. Well, the tweet about tonight's stream is over there. Hang on a sec. Hang on, let me fix myself right there. Whoa, it's going a little crazy. Oh, that's right. I did drop this laptop I did drop this laptop a couple of years ago. Oh, hang on. Is steady. I don't know if you guys I don't know if that's never happened during one of these streams before, so I don't know if that's just happening on my end where the picture is just going all out of whack. Okay, stop it. Let me just put you down there, cursor. Sometimes it goes a little wacky, like it is right now. This is going to be the entire program, ladies and gentlemen. Even if I just simply got to hold the mouse right there. Typically it's fine. It just man, it is giving me a run for my money right now. Okay, hang on. I think I know how to do this. I've just never had to do this. Okay, good. The chat says it can see it moving. Otherwise, I just look like a crazy person who needs new glasses. All right, come on. I think I know how to get it. If it can just... No, don't do that. No, I don't want you to get rid of the whole camera angle. Hang on. It's okay. Last time I had a stomach ache because of the baby food. This time I'll just get a headache just from looking at the stream itself. Hang on, people. Sorry, I'm going to put you down here for just a second. Now, you know what? I'll go ahead and keep rambling because this is just great theater right here. Pick you up, grab you. See what it's doing is the cursor is just kind of going all out of whack. Stay there. I knew I shouldn't have put the cats in charge of the camera angle. All right, it's staying. I pushed it over just far enough that if it starts freaking out again, it should be fine. I mean, really, it works out. I have just typically kind of minor notes to whatever I'm doing on here. I'm usually scatterbrained in it of myself. It only makes sense that the camera angle would be too. I took a big gamble right there, moving the cursor out of the way. Let me do it again. See, it's okay. I'll put you back to sleep there in a second. All right, just hold right there. I just needed you to pull up my notes because I do have some actual notes. All right, now I can get back on track. See, there's a lot of things that happen on this channel. Fidgeting with the camera angle because I've needed a new laptop for a while. Again, that type of thing usually happens not when I'm live on camera. I am actually surprised that didn't happen sooner. There's a lot of things you can find on here. It's a very variety of stuff over on our page. You should definitely subscribe to us and click the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter as well at the Cinema Snob. Usually I do a pretty good job of putting up links to the show, and I did earlier. It was just a few hours ago. You can find a lot of stuff like spotlighting 1983 horror slasher comedies about a role-playing game like Skullduggery, or some shot-on-video stuff. A guy getting hit in the face with a sledgehammer because the movie is called Sledgehammer. Oh, those are actually, if you are looking for those right now, one of them is over on Patreon right now. The other one will be soon, to give you an idea of what the next double feature is on the Cinema Snob. And then mixed in with all of the sledgehammers to the face and the amazing shenanigans that are in Skullduggery. That was an unpredictable film, by the way. I'll leave it at that. It's like a half-hour episode. There was a lot to cover with that. You could also, but if you're not into all the graphic violence, I'm also here to talk about my journey through fatherhood. But if you are here for the graphic violence, go to patreon.com/thecinemasnob. You can see those videos up early in advance. But food and baby stuff will be the topics here, because we also talk a bit about food and try them on camera. I don't have any food to try with me, but we shot one. We did make it to the state fair. I was actually gone for a couple of days. I was able to squeeze in just enough time to take a train trip down to Springfield. Springfield's only a few hours away. I was able to take a train ride down to Springfield Tuesday morning. I did, and then last night I got back. So I was really just there for about 24 hours, enough to on Tuesday evening, Dave and I got together to do Brad Tries the State Fair. So we do have all that shot. It's been about 4 years, I think, since the last State Fair video. And back when we would do State Fair videos, a bunch of them there in a row, we would do it every year till about 2019. And my stomach, I would say my stomach was like kind of used to it back then, but sometimes it wasn't. Like, that was back when I was living in Springfield, so to an extent it was used to Springfield food, like the horseshoe sandwich, a big open-faced Texas toast sandwich with meat on it, fries, and a bunch of melted cheese. But even still, sometimes when we would go to the fair, I would have to get like a thing of Pepto right afterwards. I was worried about that this time, because sometimes, even beyond the fair, when I go back to visit Springfield, my stomach, will kind of hurt no matter where I go, because I guess it's just not used to Central Illinois food much anymore. I was worried about that with the fair this time. I was like, I don't know, how is it going to handle the cinnamon chicken, the flamin' hot Cheeto burger, the big block of fried Swiss. I don't want to give everything away that we tried. I think we tried about 6 things, about 5 or 6 things or something. But that gives you a little bit of a clue on there. You'll have to wait and see for the rest. I got it shot. Gonna kind of edit it little by little, maybe over the weekend. It'll be on Patreon for early viewing. But yeah, we finally did it. We got a Brad Tries the State Fair done. But anyway, now that we got the food out of the way, we'll go to what the title of this episode is. And that was the class that Laura and I did. The class that Laura and I did on what did we do? What's been going on again? Oh, right. Labor class. That's it. But before we get to the labor class, one more bit of homework I got to get out of the way, because I'll be getting my homework done years before my son will. August 25th through the 26th, I am going to be over at Planet Funk Con. That's going to be in Davenport. I'll be there all weekend long. Plenty of copies of my book. You can get your tickets for it over at planetfunkcon.com. And yes, it will be the Bruce edition of the book. Yes, I will be signing copies of the Bruce edition of Class of 86. This is the last batch of the Bruce edition, too. So come and see me up in Davenport. Get yourself a copy of that. Again, August 25th through the 27th. Anyway, back to the baby stuff. There was a couple of classes going on simultaneously. There was the one that we went to, which was all about taking through all the steps of labor, all that good stuff, and the videos that went along with it too. And they were like, documentary videos. So unfortunately, no cheesy reenactment acting. there was another class going on simultaneously. We almost walked into it first. It was the Understanding Your Newborn class. Part of us wished that was the class we were going to, because that was the one that had free donuts in it. And we were a little hungry, and then that made me think about the one that I did, the boot camp for dads. So I was then thinking, well, we're gonna get a free T-shirt out of this. If this 6-hour class that we're doing, oh, hang on, the mouse is acting up again. I don't even know how to. Ooh. No, don't do that. Don't close. I don't even know how to. Did anything change just now on you guys' end? Because it's now giving me a couple of different screens. And I don't exactly know how to fix it, because I've never seen this particular camera angle before. Let me know in the chat if it looks any different to you guys. So okay, it doesn't look any different. Okay, I'll just go ahead and leave it as is then. It's giving me like a side-by-side preview screen and what I'm seeing. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know why it did that. Oh. See, there was another button that was highlighted at the bottom that usually isn't highlighted that switches between modes. Anyway, the classes have also taught me patience. At least that one did make me look crazy, because you couldn't see on my end how different it looked right there. I am going to snap at the end of this one. No. Everything they taught you in the class. There was more so to the class than the swaddling cloth thing from the one that I took by myself, which I did get an A+ in the swaddling cloth section. So I went into this new one like, I know this is a 6-hour class, but if it's 6 hours all about the swaddling cloth, then I'm going to do very good on it. If you missed that episode of the show, that was the Boot Camp for Dads class that I did. One of the sections was on wrapping up in the swaddling cloth. I blame Kirk Cameron's. Oh, I know. I don't blame. I give credit to Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas over my acing that section of it. See, I got that down. As long as I can figure out this hyperactive cursor right here, then I'll be a great parent. Where was I? What have we talked about? We've talked about swaddling cloth, donuts, Davenport. I'm almost as all over the place as the mouse is. But the best thing about this particular class that we went to, again, it was about 6 hours long. See, in mine, which was a few hours, we didn't really have any bathroom breaks in ours. So by the end of it, I didn't know if it was a test or something, if they were like testing my strengths. At the end of the 3-hour class that I did, I was sitting there having to piss like Ghost Rider by the end of it. Like, I'm sitting there trying to find the most comfortable positions to sit in, sweating. It's looking like I'm sweating. Like, are you very nervous about being a father? No, I just gotta piss. But luckily, in the one that Laura and I went to last weekend, luckily there was about 12 pregnant women in there. So there was a bathroom break about every hour. And we even got a lunch break too, where I could get a sandwich from the cafeteria and stock up on honey mustard packets in there. Just load those up in my pockets. Yeah. Like the one that I took. It was like a month ago. The dad's class that I took. I was also the oldest one in this one as well. But I wasn't making the dumbest jokes as the oldest one in there. But no. My jokes were okay. So we at the beginning of the class, we all went around the room, and the wives introduced us and said, our names, what we were, our due date, what we were looking forward to the most in terms of parenting. And there was one guy who was like kind of across from us, who goes, Well, I do love sports, and there is a big game going on today, and, well, I'm missing it for this. It's one of those jokes where, like, he's kind of being serious. My jokes were way better. There was one section towards the end where we're learning about different massage techniques, stuff like that, and, it's helping Laura relieve tension by pressing up against her knees, putting my back up against her knees, pushing back. She really liked the knee, all the ones that had to do with pushing against the knees. She liked that a lot, and different types of massages to do along her back. I'm sitting there like, how is this supposed to help me learn karate? Laura goes, "What, you idiot?" I think that's a fair question. So, wore this bandana for nothing. We did find our people, though. There was a couple sitting behind us who were making a lot of Friends references. Like, Laura's ears perked up, turns back around like, I turn around. I heard a Friends reference, so I know who we're going to be talking to during lunch. Like, there was a section in the class on jump-starting labor. The different things you could do to, like, maybe make it start a little quicker. So the couple behind us says, like, what about eating spicy food? Keep in mind, our only reference to this is the episode of Friends where Rachel is eating a lot of spicy food. Laura and I are like, yeah, we're gonna go along with that question too. We were actually also thinking about that. It's one because of the Friends episode, and also Laura does eat a lot of spicy food. So we're very curious to hear the answer for this. And in terms of another Friends episode, what happens when me and my buddy leave the baby on a bus and we have to flip a coin to get it back? Because there's two babies that were abandoned on a bus. We can't remember what pajamas they were wearing. We got distracted because one of us was hitting on a girl at the bus stop. I guess I shouldn't say what because that wouldn't be me. But so just tell us whether we should pick heads or tails in terms of picking which one of us is the child. Anyway, that's out there for all you fellow Friends fans out there. Or if you don't watch Friends but you watched my 5.5-hour video on it. There's only one video I have that's longer than me talking about all the films of 1983, and that's me talking about all the episodes of Friends. We did get to watch a lot of videos in there, and the instructor warned us on how graphic they would be. So I'm like, I'm used to this, it being car accidents in high school in videos that we're watching, and sledgehammer movies too. So she warns, she's like, just so you know, this is going to be kind of graphic, whatever you watch. It was funny when one video was playing, and there was a blur effect, but the blur effect wasn't where you would probably think it would be, the dad vomiting. No, it wasn't anywhere where you think it would be. It was on the dad's shirt, because he was wearing a Denny's logo. You could still tell it was a Denny's logo. It was across his shirt. It's like, oh, sorry, we had to blur out the Denny's logo. We want you to be thinking about your child and not the delicious moons over my hammy platter. Think about the mustard packets at the cafeteria upstairs. You can go to Denny's after the baby is born. They have child seats there. The video ended. The video actually really wasn't that graphic. It didn't show a lot. The camera was up just enough, so it really didn't show as much as you'd think it would. So the video ended. Laura's sitting there. She's like, "Oh, that was nothing." There was no one in an ET costume. Laura's sitting there well, that really wasn't bad at all. Same with a C-section one that they had later on. Laura's going Caligula was more graphic. I'm like, right? It was. That video, That video was nothing like Caligula. It was nothing like the birthing scene in Caligula. I should have raised my hand and said, I've seen Caligula. I'm told that the wife, who is also an empress, should be sitting up straight when pushing the child out, with people throwing flowers all around her and a band, while she's holding on to some golden ropes before the baby is born. And then the fever breaks out directly afterwards. It was actually very tragic in that movie. The baby is born, and then suddenly Aunt Drusilla dies. I didn't say that in the class, by the way. I was pushing my luck with the karate joke that I did later on. So no, the videos were fine to make it through. I did have a feeling that the instructor was gonna say something to me at one point, only because I was wearing when she introduced herself, the instructor, she was talking about how she was a teacher at one of the schools around here, and I was wearing you've seen me wear it, this like red a hoodie T-shirt. It's a Naperville Red Hawks shirt. She mentioned that team, and I was like, oh, she's probably gonna think I was like a student there or something like that. So during the break, she comes up to me and she's like, oh, I see you're wearing that Naperville Red Hawks hoodie. Are you a teacher there? Damn it, I was hoping you'd think I was one of the students. It's turned into the episode of Friends now, where Joey is pretending to be 19 years old so he can get an acting part. I was like, I told her, I go, oh no, I don't work there or anything. I just really like the shirt. I bought it at Walgreens. I buy a lot of shirts like this. I just like to wear it. I'm hoping that doesn't sound weird. I often get cast as the drug dealing student in the Just Say No videos. Yes, they still make those. And yes, it is a 41-year-old playing the student in all of them. McGruff was already cast, I'm sorry. But that was me and Laura's. That was me and Laura's someone in the chat right there going, hey, y'all seen Sallow? It is very, you take away eyes getting gouged out and the feces, the tongue thing, people getting hung, all of the very, very sinful actions in that movie. You take all that out and you just have the soundtrack. That's actually very soothing music, to be perfectly honest. If you don't know the context to the theme music of Sallow, you you could actually be playing it if you're really, really trying to relax the closer the due date gets. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the super chat questions right now. As I push my luck again by moving this cursor. All right, let me pull it up here, people. Let me slide this over. If you weren't watching earlier, it was going haywire over here. It was like moving the picture down over there to the left. Another sign. I really got to get this fixed. It's just never happened during a live stream. But, I'm kind of okay when stuff like that happens. It gives you material. That's the way I look at it. Is it giving you material that you can kind of play off of? Yes. Well, then we can make it work. All right, sorry. I'm pulling up the super chat questions right now. I'm just trying to do it in a different way than I usually do, as not to anger the computer. All right. Okay, let me get to the top here. Sorry, people. I'm just trying to get this in a right spot to where if it does start acting up, then we'd still be good. Okay. There we go. Okay, there's a decent amount of super chat questions in here. Thank you very much, people. All right, we got. If it's about the computer acting up, I don't know how much more material I have left. If I arguably even had that much to begin with. Eli Neiman says, now that 1983 in film episode is finished and out, will you bring back the polls? Oh, he's asking about the Cinema Snob polls. I love doing the Toxbox polls. It's sitting around over here somewhere, the box. That's where I put like a bunch of potential episodes in there, and every week I would pull some out and put the polls over on Patreon. I love doing those. It's one of my favorite things to do, is, you know, kind of trying to guess what it's going to be, then disappointed in the one that wins, because the one I always want to win hardly ever does, and also seeing how long the fifth stock melodrama choice will be on there, which is something short of paradise, and it's been there for like well over a year. No, I love doing that. I'll bring it back as soon as I can. I do have a bunch of obligation episodes to get through. I'm trying to get, because, you know, October is going to be a play it by ear month in terms of the snob. So in between now and then, I'm getting a lot of stuff done that I want to get done on the snob before the due date. So I wanted to do some double feature episodes to tie into 1983 in film and also to promote 1983 in film. So I did the double feature on Deadly Force and The Big Score, which I just put up the other day, My Tutor and Getting It On. The next one you see will be Skullduggery and Sledgehammer. And then after that, there's a mini series I want to do. I'll have to do a tie-in to the new Saw, and then like baby movies. So like It's Alive, The Unborn, stuff like that. So I do have pretty much nothing but obligation episodes until the due date. And then when I'm back on like kind of a regular rotation, semi, totally, like at the very least we should have like a month of like poll episodes, because I love doing those. His other question: have you seen the new TMNT and Haunted Mansion movies? I haven't. Watched reviews of them on. I watched the Double Toasted reviews of them. No, I haven't. Like I've said, something had to be sacrificed, and that was it. So I could just solely work here from home. Between and I got enough stuff to do here. Between the snob episodes, 1962 in film, the baby movies I'll be doing, the second book that I'm writing. I mean, there will still be stuff that I'll go see and review, like when Saw X comes out, I'll review that. When the new Exorcist comes out, I'll review that. Like things like that I will, but other than that, yeah, maybe I'll see those when they hit streaming or something. I hear Ninja Turtles is pretty good. Cody Bishop goes, are there any small YouTube channels that you feel should get more attention? For me, it's Jen's Reviews from the Grave, a mother and son review horror movies in a 2010 vlog format with passion and character. Well, that's very cool. We'll give that one if you're watching this, give that one a look. I haven't seen it, but Cody Bishop's vouching for it. Let's see. There was some smaller channels that I really liked, but I don't know if they still do videos anymore. There was one I liked a lot. He was a comic strip critic. I think the name of the show was The Punchline, and I thought that was like really a unique topic to review, like, you know, the Sunday funnies and stuff like that. And he was good. He was very, very good, and knew his stuff. Like, you could tell he had a passion for the subject. He was good, but I don't know if he still does stuff anymore. I really, it sounds bad, but I actually don't watch a lot of YouTube. I work on it, but, you know, I'm usually doing stuff offline. So, but, you know, I watch my friends' stuff. You know, I watch my friends' videos, but in terms of other people, like people I don't like know personally, there was a guy recently that I looked at who was really good. I think he reviews a lot of book stuff. His name is James Toulos, I think is his name, and I happened upon him because he sent me a link. He reviewed my book, and it was a really well done review. I mean, he didn't love the book, like he didn't hate it, and that's all you can ask for. Like he didn't hate it. It was a very mixed review, but it was a really well done. It was like he was very good on camera. It was very well written. He said his points all very, very well. No, it made me want to check out more of his stuff. No, I like that, and it was cool. He spotlighted the book, you know. And no, he was good. Again, like you could tell he knew his shit. Campbellzilla says, "How do you feel about Eli Roth's upcoming Thanksgiving film? Oh, is he actually doing that? And would you like to see Rob Zombie's Werewolf Women of the SS and Edgar Wright's Don't given feature adaptations?" I of those trailers in Grindhouse, I think the best one for me was the Thanksgiving one. I don't know how much I would like it as a feature film. Eli Roth is hit or miss for me. At the time when Grindhouse came out, it was the first thing Eli Roth did that I liked. Since then, there's been a few things that I have. So, as full length, we'll kind of see, I guess. Same with Rob Zombie's Werewolf Women of the SS. There's movies of his I like and a lot I don't. So, again, it's kind of hit or miss there. It is like, would this just simply be better as like a 3-minute trailer? Edgar Wright is there's more of his movies that I like that don't, no pun intended. So I think the odds are that adaptation would, if you're just kind of looking at the odds, like that adaptation might be the best one as a film. But again, I mean, who knows? The others could surprise me. I'll watch Thanksgiving. I love a good slasher. Matt Florent, aside from Fulci Zombie, what are your favorite Italian zombie movies? Oh, I've got a special place in my heart for Nightmare City. If you don't know Nightmare City, that's the Nightmare Becomes Reality one. I don't want to spoil it for you, but that was, I remember, I got a fondness for that one. It was the first Italian horror movie I saw. I was really young. Our video store had it. They had it in a clamshell, and that copy of it was called City of the Walking Dead. And I'd never seen anything like it. It was, from the music, the no holds bar graphic tone. It's also I guess they're technically not like zombies in it, but it's put in that category. But they all, the creatures in it, you know, they're all like infected with this plague, and they move very fast. It's like an early example of that genre where they are running around. They can use weapons. No, that one, I've wanted to spotlight that one for a really, really, really long time. It has been on my list for a while. Eventually I will. I just don't know when that would be. But yeah, that one, I dig it. When Fat Kills Fat 80. You seen the riff tracks for Rat's Night of Terror? No, but I should. I came across it when I did the episode on Rat's Night of Terror. I didn't know that they had done an episode on it. So I should totally check that out. That's a great movie. It's very entertaining. And there's tons of material that you could get out of it. It's for like a movie party type of film. It's excellent for that. So is Skullduggery, which I watched last week. Gino, X 1987. This is a heavy question. Will you ever review the movie Clown House? I've seen Clown House. It'd be a difficult one. And you guys know me. You know me. You know I'm very good at putting aside a lot of different things and just talking about the movie. I am. That one would be hard, would be really difficult. And I've seen it. I saw it. I was a teenager when I saw it. I actually do remember liking it. If you want to know what I thought about the movie when I saw it, I didn't know a lot of the behind the scenes stuff about it back then. But No, I actually do remember liking the film. Of that like clown genre back then, I remember it being pretty well made and pretty quick and pretty creepy. And I mean, it still is creepy. Not in the same way as when I watched it when I was young. That would probably be a little hard. Like, I mean, Jeepers Creepers, I would. Those movies, I would. Um, I mean, I did do. I mean, Salva didn't direct it, but I did review the fourth Jeepers Creepers movie last year, and it was terrible. Jacob Matthew Crawford. Hypothetical question. 15 years in the future, you come home to find your son pawned your Caligula memorabilia and Laura's Hunchback collectibles because he felt his allowance wasn't big enough. Is it a disowning offense? No, I wouldn't disown him. I think something was wrong with him. I think I think he's very, very vengeful and really thought this plan through to the point to where he knew exactly where to go to take this stuff, knew what was worth it, was able to move all of it there and get money off of it. I don't know. I think he's kind of a weird evil genius that we should probably take to a therapist. And then I'm buying my shit back. Rob Baker left an animated GIF that says it's a video game controller that says "try again." Well, eventually I defeated the boss, and the boss being the crazy mouse going batshit over there as I was defeating the screen. That was kind of like playing an old video game. So eventually I had enough continues to get it right. Campbellzilla. What's your favorite John Carpenter movie? Mine is Campbellzilla's is They Live. And on the side of Roddy Piper should have been a bigger action star than he was. Oh, that's true. Yeah, very much so. He's great on that It's Always Sunny episode, too. Favorite John Carpenter movie? Probably Escape from New York. That's what I rank up there with. Whenever I'm asked about my favorite action movies, that one's typically near the top. Christine, I absolutely love. Christine was a movie that I loved so much. It's one of it. It's not the only movie, but it's one of the movies that I credit with me like really wanting to get into acting and do some acting. So I used to watch that movie a lot when I was young. It was one of the first very big books that I read too. I read that book when I was very young, when no one else in the class was reading Stephen King. I read Christine. Yeah, that one's up there. The first John Carpenter movie I saw was Starman, which really is like that's a pretty perfect film. I mean, it's got humor, it's got suspense, it's got some like genuinely intense and like pretty shocking moments. It's got romance. It's the score is outstanding in it. That movie really is like kind of a masterpiece. So that one would probably be the first one I would show my son to. I really love Starman. Nathan Taylor, when you do your 4-hour-long 80s videos, do you rewatch every movie you talk about or go off of what you remember about the movie? Pretty much that. There's some I'll go back to, certainly. But if it is something that I have already seen, then I don't rewatch that, really. I more so talk about what my memory of it is, because that's really what a lot of that is about. Like, is especially the more that series has gone on, like it starts to get a little personal touches and tidbits to them. Especially talking about like Independence Day '83. When I would talk about Return of the Jedi or something like that, there's little personal anecdotes in them. So no, I don't. I wouldn't have the time to go back and rewatch every single one of them. But it's fun just discovering stuff too, and looking at stuff that was like supposed to be big but bombed in a way that it's like completely forgotten about. Like, not bombed in a way to where it's like it bombed, but then it's this beloved classic, or it bombed and everyone really remembers that, like Heaven's Gate or something like that. Like, it bombed and everyone remembers that. Then there's like the ones that do and are just like forgotten about, and those are kind of fascinating to come across. Danny McGraw, if you could give one James Bond actor one extra film, what would it be? That's George Lazenby. Absolutely. George Lazenby, I think, is brilliant. He was really the first one to, I mean, I know he's only the second one to play him, or well, technically third if you want to count Climax, but he was the first one to really, really, really humanize the character, and I think he did a great job at it, especially for being a guy who didn't have a lot of acting experience. He had a lot of modeling experience, but not acting, and when you factor that into it, and a lot of the dramatic stuff in it, especially the ending, he's great. He is. If he had a second film, I think he's legitimately very good in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. He has real moments of greatness in it, and any flaws that he has are just simply ones that he easily could have grown from and worked on and perfected in a follow-up. But by and large, I thought he was great. Where he needed to act the most in that movie, he did, and he sold it. And that was the romance department. That was the parts where he has to sit there and look really scared and helpless, like the ice skating scene. And of course the ending. And you needed someone there who's going to really help the audience bring in the tears in those moments, and he does, and he was great at it. And if he was in Diamonds Are Forever is kind of hard to watch for me. Not that I think it's a bad movie, but I'm watching it going, God, I wish this was Lazenby. Like, just to have just this kind of arc between how Her Majesty's Secret Service ended. And Her Majesty's Secret Service is a brilliant film. One of, if not the best Bond movie. And man, it would have been, it would be cool to see that alternate universe where he's in Diamonds Are Forever. But he did some cool kung fu movies in the 70s. Stoner is a lot of fun. That was a movie he starred in. It was supposed to be his comeback, but it was going to be him, Bruce Lee, and I think Sonny Chiba, and then Bruce Lee died, and he was the only one, I think, who was still contractually obligated to be in it, so he still had to be, and then the budget was cut. But that movie's certainly not the greatness that it could have been, but it is a very entertaining movie that he did. He would pop up as, like, Bond-type characters and stuff, like Man from U.N.C.L.E., like Return of Man from U.N.C.L.E., I think is what it was. Master Ninja, he pops up in, and there was an episode of Alfred Hitchcock in the 80s. It was called Diamonds Aren't Forever, where he comes back as Bond, and that was cool to see. Gino X 1987. Would it be my dream to be in a Claudio Fragasso movie? Yeah, of course I would. I would absolutely do that. He's still around, isn't he? If he is, I hope he's still making movies. I would 100% do that. Are you kidding? Well, then again, I'll be in about anything. Campbellzilla, what are your thoughts on Escape from L.A.? I know it's not well regarded in comparison to the first one, but I enjoy it in an Evil Dead 2 kind of way. That's the way to look at it, going into it in sort of an Evil Dead 2 sort of way, where it is more of, I don't know about satire, but maybe a little. But it is almost this kind of heightened exaggeration of the first one. And that was one that I liked better on a rewatch, because when I first saw it, I saw it in the theater, and when I first saw it, I wasn't that into it, because, I mean, you're kind of going into it thinking it's going to be the tone of Escape from New York, and it really wasn't. But then watching it again and knowing what you're getting into, knowing what the tone is going to be, that it is kind of going to be this Evil Dead 2 Sleepaway Camp 2 kind of thing. There's fun parts in it. I still like the first one better. There's some pretty memorable stuff in Escape from LA, and even the stuff that like doesn't work, like some of the effects, I at least still remember, kind of give it a little bit of a charm. MHW 8 Nation, R.I.P. William Friedkin. Oh yeah, I liked his work in The Exorcist, Boys in the Band, Sorcerer, and The Brink's Job. Sorcerer is great, and it was when he passed away. It was cool to see a lot of people talking about Cruising too. I think Cruising is that's one of my favorite movies of his. It's a movie that I've always liked. I always thought it was really underrated because I grew up with everyone talking about it being a bad movie, and it was part of the New Hollywood thing, and it kind of caused that crash for New Hollywood to go away. Or I mean, it wasn't the only cause of it, because more people more so blame Heaven's Gate. But you factor in some other movies in there too. Usually Cruising gets brought up, which is unfortunate. I don't even think Heaven's Gate is a bad movie either, but Cruising is remarkable. It is kind of this American giallo flick, really. It's a movie that has quite a bit to say, and it's this real odyssey into this sequence that was not in any way, shape, or form getting spotlighted in a mainstream movie like that, especially how very realistic it is and graphic it is. It's a great film, and it is one where over time it has gotten a lot more love. Anytime I see Cruising get brought up, it's always somebody being very positive about it. So it was nice seeing that trending again when William Friedkin passed away. He was a badass too. Like, there was a lot of interview clips of him that was popping up. The one where he's talking to Nick Winding Refn. The one where he's talking to him. There was another one. Wow, who else was he? I can't remember. But that was a guy who, he was funny, and he didn't pull back any punches if like he sensed some bullshit. It made me want to watch some more William Friedkin interviews. My friend Kermit Wazowski says, speaking of friends, references, and parenting, I could totally see you two singing Baby Got Back to your son to make him laugh. We would do that. Or Good Night, Sweetheart from 3 Men and a Baby. What I won't do is the rap from 3 Men and a Little Lady. That's in the Gutenberg episode that I did. Oh, that was, even by early 90s standards, that scene is really it's so awkward. It would be less awkward for me and Laura to sing Baby Got Back. All right, I think we can go ahead and take off here. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Always fun to come here, hang out a while, shoot the shit for a bit. Come see us over at Planet Funk Con. I'll have copies of the book. I'll have copies of the movies with us too. And you can get your tickets at planetfunkcon.com. Follow us on Twitter at the Cinema Snob, and subscribe to our channel today, and click the notification bell. All right. Before the thing starts acting up again, let me see if I can get on over here. And you're not gonna act up, are you? You wanna hear the King Frat theme? I know you do. All right, take care, everyone. See you next time. King Frat, King Frat. Come everybody, come join the party.